Hi everyone, today I'm reviewing Sandmarc's new Microscope lens. Now this is an incredibly unique lens and I cannot wait to show you the build quality, the shot quality that you can get out of this, which is incredible. And I'll talk a little bit about as well the different uses for it, as well as comparing it to a built-in macro on the wide angle on the iPhone 15 Pro and an external macro lens as well to see the differences. So let's get into it. Now for my iPhone 15 Pro, they sent me the phone case that comes with every lens that you buy. And it feels pretty tough and durable actually. It's got what feels like potentially metal or strong plastic in the lock-in system here that you screw the lenses into. It gives you the opening at the bottom so you can have all your USB-C port or whatever port you have on your phone Lightning be connected there. Your on and off standby gap there, and for your volume controls as well as a gap too. Designed in California. Carry pouch for the lens. I love these are really nice, and they got like a little hook there, so if you want to put it on something to tie it to your waistband or something like that. And a clip here to put it onto your waistband as well, the pack that you can hold your lens in. And this cable is a USB-C cable. So you get your felt pouch with the lens as well, which is really cool. Little lens cloth cleaner, moment, take note. And you also get a clip, so if you don't want to use the phone case or you simply have lost your phone case, you can use the lens, screw it onto the clip, put that over your phone, and you're ready to go. Okay, so you get a nice cap on the top there, pop straight off, and there is a light that is around the lens. This is absolutely amazing. I've never seen a lens with a light before, and there is the USB-C port for the lens to charge it up so you can use the light. You also get a back cap, again moment, take note, there's a back cap for this lens. Sturdily put on, I have to say, very tightly on there. Okay, so it seems that screwing the back cap is the way to go with this. So it has got a thread. You can't pull it off, you have to use a thread. Now look at the tiny size of this lens glass at the back that's open up for you for macro photography and filmmaking. That is absolutely tiny. Now with the button just here, if we press on that once, well, you've got three modes essentially with this. So you can use it without the light, with a light, and with a brighter light. And then really simple to put the lens on your case. Simply find the area you want it to screw onto, i.e. your wide angle lens, and there it is good to go. So let's take this lens for a spin now and see what kind of shots we can capture in filmmaking and photography. The first object we're going to look at is a pen. Now if we go to the end of the pen and look at the nib, you can see some really incredible detail that I've never noticed before with my own eyes, even when I've been looking at the pen to use it. So you can see that the actual scratches, the indentations, the imperfections are really something to behold with a lens like this. Now the rounder edges were harder, but at the end of the pen where you've got more space to move around, it actually feels like you can get something really special. And you can see even like dust particles, that's how close you can get. Now let's take a look at a watch. I couldn't get details of the face and the hands because it's not close enough to the lens. You basically have to put it on top of the subject. If you've got any space between it, it's going to be tricky to get the focus. But the dial came out really stunningly, and I have to say I was really super impressed with the level of detail that this lens captures, and it's all within the power of your hands and your phone. And it even caught the inscription on the back of the watch. This really surprised me. With a macro lens, you might be able to see the writing, but you certainly wouldn't see it anywhere near as close up and as clear as you can here. It's a bit like, well, it's identical really to looking through a scientist's microscope. It really does feel like that at times. You're seeing the world through the eye of this lens in a way that you just couldn't see otherwise. And this leather patch on an old pair of jeans, which looks absolutely disgusting, really does show you how tricky it can be on a subject that isn't flat to get full focus. So you really want to pick out what you want to be in focus. And this is possible due to the multi-lens element glass that they use in the lens, and it's such a good build. Now whilst this Microscope lens can achieve 40 times zoom, with the iPhone 15 Pro on top of the built-in telly, you can achieve 120 times zoom. And with the iPhone 15 Pro Max, you can achieve a whopping 200 times zoom, which is pretty incredible. Now one of the biggest differences between this Microscope lens and a macro lens is the distance you have to get between your lens and your subject, which is also called the working distance. So for example, with a macro lens, you could get, say, about an inch or so away from your subject, but with a Microscope lens, you actually have to get much closer. So you have to get on top of the subject, literally on top of the subject there, and that way you'll get a really nice clean shot. If you're further away, you're just going to get a blurry mess. Turn it up bright. And now if we get really close to the lens, you can see incredible detail. And as I say, I'm holding this leaf now, so it's touching the leaf. You get really incredible shots of the detail that you could never ever get with a macro lens. You can get very close with a macro lens, but you simply can't get this close with one of those. But with this lens, the Microscope lens, you can get so close. You can capture detail that you cannot get with any other lens. And this light allows you to do it inside and outside. Now I wanted to show you the difference between using the built-in macro lens on the iPhone 15 Pro, an external macro, and the Microscope lens. Here with the built-in macro lens on the 15 Pro, it gets a lot of detail and certainly more than the regular wide-angle lens, but with an external macro you can see you're getting a lot more detail in a much crisper way. When you look at the Sandmarc Microscope lens, however, you get incredible detail that just isn't comparable to the built-in macro or a macro external lens. Seeing them side by side, you can really see the detail difference in each shot. So what you capture with the Sandmarc Microscope lens is something on a completely different level to any other lens you're likely to have used before. Now, things like vegetables and blankets, you're getting fibers and details that are really, really unbelievably clear. This plant stem is one of the best shots I got with this lens, and the light on the lens really does provide you a way to capture subjects that you would never capture otherwise. Now, this Sandmarc lens does have a way of charging it as well, so with the USB-C, that light when it's charging will go red and it will turn off when it's charged. So what kind of uses would you have for a lens like this? Well, I think people would create product shots and commercials from home in a home studio where you're filming different kind of intricate things like jewelry and diamonds and rings, that kind of stuff for products and watches. I also think it'd be great for nature. So if you want to film things like plants, trees, that kind of stuff, get close-up intricate details of the kind of insects as well that could be moving around on those natural subjects, it could be really good for that. And also I think for narrative storytelling. So things like looking through the page of a book, showing you the writing, showing you screenwriting and letters, the inscriptions like I showed you on the watch before as well. You can use this for narrative filmmaking as well, and it's just a fun lens in general to use, that's for sure. Now when buying the Microscope lens from the Sandmarc website, you have to choose which phone first that you're going to be using it with. That's because Sandmarc will send you whatever case you need for your specific phone with every lens you buy. It costs $129.99, which is nowhere near the most expensive lens out there, and I have to say it's well worth that price, especially when you consider you get the light with it, you get a cloth bag, you get the microfiber cloth, and you get the clip-on if you don't want to use the case. If you want to have a look at the lens that I used for the actual external macro shots in this video for the comparison side, then check out my tips video on how to use a macro lens for beginners right here, right now, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, bye bye.